right, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my humble opinion, I want to believe that this is the most talked about laptop on YouTube. As a matter of fact, not just YouTube, on the internet. You see, if you go to YouTube, you go to Google, to Reddit, you are going to be seeing this laptop here. It's a Lenovo ThinkPad T480. I'm just going to open it so that we are on the same page. You are sure that I'm actually talking about this laptop. You see, that's the Lenovo ThinkPad T480. This is my own personal ThinkPad. This was exactly, the particular ThinkPad that I used in making the video that blew up this channel. It blew up this channel beyond my widest expectations. This was coming at a time where I was making videos back to back, Nothing worked. I reviewed phones. I made videos of monitors. To be honest, some monitor video did blow up, but not as this one here, I made videos of a lot of Fujitsu PCs, Lenovo Think Center, small form factor PCs, tower PCs, everything, HP. Nothing moved the needle until I decided one day, to talk about my Lenovo ThinkPad T480, and the channel exploded. And ever since, I kind of have a very sentimental attachment to this laptop, and I told myself, there's just no reason for me to sell this laptop. It doesn't matter what it might be going through. I'm telling you guys for free, I'm never going to sell this laptop. See, it's missing a RAM stick here. I'm coming to that. Exactly the reason why I made this video. But then I was saying that in my humble opinion, this is the most talked about laptop on the internet. But I'm going to limit it to YouTube because I have really combed YouTube, taking a look at the numerous videos talking about different laptops. But this particular one here, everybody seems to be saying one thing. I'm still yet, to find a video about matching this particular model of the ThinkPad, the Lenovo ThinkPad T480. Everybody seems to be saying one thing. Yes, a beautiful laptop, decent, well built, rugged. It has dual battery. Mine is also missing the internal battery. I think I did make a video about that, but if I didn't, definitely it's a video I need to make. For one reason or the other, this internal battery here kind of failed, and I did try to buy a replacement. I slotted it on it. Still didn't work. I do not know what is going on, but this particular battery here is just good enough for me. It holds up very, very good. And I mean, ideally, if you combine the external battery that you have here with the internal battery, you are boasting of a battery life of well over 12 hours if the batteries are very, very good. But with this external battery here, I pretty much do not have any problem. I do not have any real need for me, to begin to source for a second internal battery, because I did spend a lot of money on Amazon trying to get one. But like I said, I don't know why it doesn't work, but this is not, the issue that we are facing here today. See, this laptop here, a lot of you did, leave me a lot of comments in the video I made. Guy, yes, it was a highly edited video. Let us see again the inside of the Lenovo ThinkPad T480. So a few days ago, I had the need to take out one of the 8GB DDR4 RAMs that were here. If you have been following this channel, of course, we have also been following the fact that RAM sticks have become very, very difficult to get. Look, they are so difficult. I mean, they are available, but the problem is that they are just simply very, very expensive. And sometimes, like you all know, I do sell used PCs, laptops, mini PCs, everything, monitors on the internet. I sell on the hardware money shop. Once in a while, I have need to quickly get, RAM modules. Sometimes 16GB, DDR4 modules, sometimes 8GB DDR4 modules. On this particular day, I just needed an 8GB of DDR4 RAM because somebody actually wanted me to ship out a mini PC, actually a Dell Optiplex 3070 mini PC that someone bought and wanted this PC shipped out as a matter of urgency with a 16GB of DDR4 RAM, and I needed to take one module here because it was identical to the 8GB that was on the mini PC. And because of that, this Lenovo ThinkPad T480 here had to be the sacrificial lamb for that, because when I was taking it out, I said to myself, this would be the best time to actually open this, notebook again and just, make you guys see what everyone is talking about, in this laptop. I'm going to repeat myself, trying to tell you how to open it, how difficult it is. Of course, I will warn you that if you want to open a Lenovo ThinkPad T480, you might be a little bit careful because you might have to break some clips here and there. That is presupposing that you are a rookie. Of course, when I did make that video that exploded this channel at the time, I'm talking about about 2 or 3 years ago when I made that video, I was still a rookie in opening the Lenovo ThinkPad T480, and I broke a lot of clips here. I won't be able to show you now on camera, but believe me, I did break some clips, and in that video I also showed it to you guys. So this is the Lenovo ThinkPad T480. Everybody seems to be singing the praise of this laptop. Decent speakers it has here. Mine is a touchscreen, so it's kind of the highest grade of the Lenovo ThinkPad T480. These speakers, my friend, I tell you, they are highly good quality speakers. They are very, loud and produce pretty decent sound. And most of the live videos I make on this channel, I do it with my Lenovo ThinkPad T480, and I never really had need to get an external mic because everything from this laptop pretty much sounds very good. And right here, a lot of you did ask also if you could use a SATA SSD. On this particular laptop here, you only have the possibility for an NVMe SSD right here. All right. So if you are thinking of maybe adding a SATA SSD and stuff like that, you may not be able to do that on Lenovo ThinkPad T480 because right here, I think I can actually bring this out. Yes, let me see. This is just a bonus video. This wasn't planned, but since I'm already here, I have to do what I have to do. See, this is exactly how it looks. The NVMe SSD is sitting right there. I'm not going to open it any further. Of course, the video I made did do justice to that. See, it's nicely sitting there, and if you push this right there, it sits back in place. This is how it goes. But right here, like I said, the external battery is supposed to come here and connect to one of these ports right there. Mine is missing that. It is what it is. This is one of the reasons I have seen so many people talk about this laptop, myself inclusive, that this laptop is very upgrade friendly. See, right here, you have the possibility of up to 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM in one of the RAM modules. All right, so you have a total of 64 gigabytes possible on this laptop. The thing is, if there's also a lot of controversy about that, because at the time when most of these blog posts were written, there was actually no 64 gigabytes DDR4 module available, and because of that, a lot of people tend to believe that this laptop can only take up to 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. See, I have tried mine with 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, works flawlessly. All right, the wireless LAN module is right here, sitting in place. See, some people did say that right here on the V1 port, you can actually go ahead and also put in, I'm just trying to, take that up so that you see what is hiding there. You can go ahead to put in, an NVMe SSD also right there. It is possible. I have seen some colleagues in the industry do it. And if you are thinking to yourself, no, I need my Lenovo ThinkPad T480 to have the maximum amount of hard drive storage possible, you can actually look for this particular size of NVMe SSD and put it right there. That is, if you do not need the W1 module. A lot of people don't need it, and a lot of people don't even know what that means. I myself inclusive, this is not something that's particularly interesting to me. If I would have had this laptop and I'm having to deal with space issue or storage issues, I think I would just get an extra SSD and put right there. All right, this is one question that a lot of you kept asking over and over and again. Guys, I'm holding here a very robust laptop. I'm not going to lie. The hinges, take a look at that. Let's try to flip it over. This laptop is not the newest boy in the block, but as it stands, these hinges are still looking in the very best condition. This is a laptop that can flip all the way 180 degrees without having to squeak. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people said this laptop is very robustly built. Of course, a lot of people did write also on the video that a lot of laptops, Dell, HP, EliteBooks, Dell Latitudes, and the likes can do the same. But at the time where this laptop was really like making waves, not every laptop could do this. But right now, today, 2026, we have a lot of laptops actually able to flip not only this, but the X360 EliteBooks and stuff like that can even flip up to 360 and still, work perfectly for you. One of the reasons why this laptop is the most talked about laptop on YouTube is the fact that this keyboard, as a matter of fact, the ThinkPad keyboard, hands down, is the best kind of keyboard that you can ever use. I can say this because I have had the rare privilege of testing every keyboard across a number of laptops. All right, I've tested the keyboards on the HP laptops, Dell laptops. Of course, they are also very, very comfortable. I mean, right now, most of the laptops that you tend to see now all have similar kind of keyboards. But at the time where this laptop was being talked about, this was a time where other laptops had some kind of wonky kind of keyboards. But right now, like I said, a lot of the companies, the different laptops that you'll be seeing these days, they've since upgraded. So this is no longer an issue. But if you compare the laptops in the similar, of similar age to the T480, you realize that this Lenovo ThinkPad keyboard pretty much destroys every keyboard that you have out there. And this particular laptop here was pretty much packed with everything: a full HD display, super camera right there, fingerprint sensor, and everything was just looking very, very premium. Hard material, not the kind of plastic that you tend to see these days. And take a look at the back of it. Decent battery, as a matter of fact, internal and external. And when you come to the ports, Lenovo didn't spare anything in giving this thing a lot of ports. USB-C charging, USB 3.0 ports, USB 3.2, HDMI ports, RJ45, and the like that. Look, they just kind of gave everything to this laptop and said, you know what, we're just going to do what we have to do and make sure that the people, they are happy. Guys, I'm telling you that because of the fact that this laptop is the most talked about laptop on YouTube, if I want to keep my video very, very kind of localized because I'm a YouTube person, but on the internet, it is definitely the most talked about laptop. And because of that, this laptop right now, very difficult to get. See, I did, check again yesterday on eBay, which is where everything tends to go down. See, I was not so fortunate to find a lot of decent looking Lenovo ThinkPad T480s. The ones you have out there, they are all scratched up. As a matter of fact, the scratches on the laptops, the ThinkPad T480 has gotten nothing to do with the functionality. Yes, it's just that sometimes people want to get, laptops in very, very good looking condition. Mine is also not looking in the best optical condition. I'm just going to try to clean it so that you see how far the laptop has been, has been marked. All right, see, it's not looking in the worst optical condition as well, but this is exactly what you might be seeing on a lot of the marketplaces. ThinkPad T480 looking good, but this place here pretty much tells the story of the laptop. It gives an indication of how many episodes of wear and tear the laptop has been through. If you can still get something like this, you can count yourself lucky, because this laptop right now is pretty much not so available like the other laptops in its time. T470 and the likes you can still get, but the T480, as soon as it gets released from whatever source, it is immediately sold. And most of the time, the ones you have out there, you're going to be seeing so many different stories. People telling you that some of the keyboard is pulled off, battery defective, signs of use here and there, the edges. But mine looks pretty much in very, very decent condition. And like I said in the previous videos I've made, there's just no reason for me to think of selling this thing. I'm going to keep this laptop as long as I possibly can. And if I ever have a laptop museum in the future, I really do think that the T480 is going to be conspicuously represented there. Guys, there you have it. If you are thinking of getting a decent laptop like this, unfortunately, I cannot really recommend you that you go to the hardware money shop because you find one there. I myself am still trying to lay my hands on a few good ThinkPad T480s to resell, but like I said, it is definitely hard to get. But if you are in the market, you still feel like you want a responsible laptop, feel free to check out the hardware money shop. I'm certain that you'll be able to find a laptop that meets your need, be it a Lenovo ThinkPad, a HP EliteBook, a Dell Latitude, and so on and so forth. Until I see you again in the next video, peace out.